What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Advantage Player Workshop. Today we are going to try and fulfill a couple of requests about the front angle view of our grip and release. And we're going to use the little technique that I talked about in my last video. I guess we could call it the rocking chair or some other variation of rock or rocker. If you have any ideas what we're going to call this one, leave it in the comments below. And if I use your comment, I'll send you some free swag. Got our store about to be open. Got our logos and stuff on a bunch of cool custom stuff. We got our layout. Should be ready today or tomorrow. It's probably a little late in the day. It probably won't be ready, but tomorrow. Hoping to have at least something put together by the end of the weekend so we can keep practicing on a full-length table. But this one here, we're basically showing this method, where we rock the dice back in our hand a little bit, and that is simply just to do two things. Number one, it loosens up our fingers a little bit, gets them used to that little bitty tweak right there, right? You can do it a multitude of ways. You can split them apart, or you can keep them together with your fingers, however you like to do it, right? I am not a big proponent of keeping the dice glued together, as I've said many times. I don't think it's that necessary. For me, I would rather the dice be apart when they land enough to know that they're never going to bounce into one another. So that's why, to me, it's not as important. But again, I'm always using angles, getting that left directional bounce by landing the dice intentionally on their right side just a little bit. And that helps me get over to the 6. If you've seen any of my videos or that other videos, that's my number. I just get to the 6 far easier because the 6s are on the inside to me. So when I let them go, right, they are here, they bounce over, that ends up in the 6. How it happens, consult your slow-mo camera technician. I'll leave that up to you. That is for the YouTube sleuths to tell me how it happens. All I care about is that's what they came to land on when the dice are done. How they got there, who cares? Are you trying to do it? Is it happening consistently? Boom, you're done. That's all you got to worry about. And that's how I do it. But let's use this motion right here. Let's use this method. Okay. So Jesse actually just asked me, so when you're going from front to back, what do you call that? So if I say I want them in the rock back position, we'll put it in the rock back, rock forward, rock back. And I think just having that extra little bit of distance to travel, it allows the dice to have a little extra momentum to whip around your fingers, and it creates additional spin without additional arm speed. And that's because there's a sweet spot when they land, and each table surface will require a different sweet spot, different set of dials, different tweaks. You know, it's all about controlling the energy when they land. You want them to land softly and touch the wall gently, not bang into the wall, but you also want them to be released clean and spinning tight. So they don't need an excessive amount of back spin. Too much probably isn't any good because they'll still be spinning perhaps once they hit the wall, and then they may continue to spin out. So you want just enough to offset the energy once they land. So let's try to take a couple here. And I like to rock them back. You can do this back and forth a little bit, but once you've got them in the rock back position, that's when we let them go. So let's see if we can't get some of the front view. And that was pretty much money. Hard 9. Hard 9. They're just jokes, folks. Feel free to laugh out loud. Oh, I could hear some of you guys. So you can do it another way. You can rock it, or you can just leave it on the table. You can rock it forward on the table. Let me see if I can. You could rock it forward on the table to create that same action and then go. We just want them to come out clean. That one did not come out clean. Hard 6, though. Sometimes you throw them poorly, and you get a good result. Sometimes you throw them great, and you get a bad result. Just the way it goes. Came out nice and clean, nice and soft, 6, 2, 8. And so that's what you're trying to do. That's why there is a sweet spot. It's got to have enough spin on it to hold them nice and tight so that they're spinning, tight together, without any kind of wobble going down. But you want them you don't want to throw them too hard. So that's what that little rock back thing does. It gives it just a little bit of extra momentum. Oh, a hard 10. How you doing? Sorry, I know you can't see these. You just have to take my word for them. I was going to shoot some of the table view too, and somebody had the bright idea of gluing the timer to the sidewall, and then did not take into account that the batteries are on the back side where the glue is now permanently attached to the wall. So rather than ripping it off and redoing it, we'll just wait a couple of days. 628, we'll do it, and we'll wait a couple of days till the table's up, and then we'll either get a new better timer, since I can't stand that timer. Okay, we're gonna rock it back and forth a little bit. I mean, they just come out so good. 516. So well. So pardon me, my grammar gets a little sloppy, like my dice toss every now and then. All right, that is hard 10. Oh boy. Okay, I'll show you. Take my word for it. So, I mean, try that. And I think anybody who's done this long enough has begun to experience that when you do something consistently and it works, and then you're able to do it again. Oh, 437. And yeah, those came down pretty hard. That, you know, you'll notice that you just repeat things in a tight window. Right, rock it back. Hard 6 though. I'll take it. You know, I mean, if that's the secret to rolling hardways, I think we found it. I think I found the secret to rolling the 6-6-12 when the dice are on, when the sixes are on the right, like I mentioned in the previous video. So now it just becomes You're welcome. You're welcome. So then it just becomes, all right, where am I aiming? And as you know, when I'm throwing the dice, right, the 10s are on the back side. Sorry. There you go. 10s are on the back side, right? 4s are facing me, 2s are facing out. And because the dice are set that way, right, whenever I start to see a bunch of repeating numbers like that, like hard 10s, that just tells me that they're spinning the same by the time they've landed. When I throw it the same, that means they've spun the same number of rotations. Now, then when they hit, they may have gyrated and twisted and toppled, right? But they quickly came back to that same combination. And that's all you can ask for. Oh, well, there's a 12. Can't say I called that one, but oh well. So I guess what I was trying to point out is that whenever you start to see you're doing something consistently, right, you can either A, don't do a damn thing different, right, which is probably what all of us, oh, I thought we got it again, 538, which is probably what we all would do, right? If it's working, don't change it. I mean, are you dumb? But for instance, if you're trying to go for the ATS and you've only got like the 12 or the whatever left to hit, you know what they should have? They should have an ATS style for all the hardways. How awesome would that be? I wonder how you would go about getting that added. I don't know that anybody would, and I wonder what that should even pay. That came out sloppy. What's funny is, oh, guess what, 437. What's funny is you always know when they come out sloppy. And I had somebody comment one time too. He's like, why are you flinching before the dice even landed? Because, they just out of habit or reaction, like if I was playing, especially earlier on, I've kind of gotten through this where I've gotten myself to where I don't really care so much about the dice, about the outcomes. Ooh, 5, 6. And that's really something I've had to train myself to do, right? I've had to really train myself to not care about what ultimately lands on the dice. And I've gotten pretty good at that. I care more at home than I do in the casino. As odd as that sounds, I have to purposefully train myself to not care what comes on the dice. The only thing is I just react to whatever I need to in terms of changing what I'm doing. Is it not a good outcome? Is it not what I'm after? That's what I'm focused on, what I need to change. I'm not concerned as much as, was it a good number for me, meaning did I win or lose money? Yes, of course, that's why we're all there, right? But when you practice so much, man, you're really more concerned about your mechanics and your methods. Okay, one left about 7 minutes after the other one. That's when you're getting sloppy. So you just need to bring it right back to the fundamentals, right? You need to just try and slow everything down again. And it always happens when I 5, 6, yo. We got a nice collection of 5s and 6s over here, I noticed. Look at this. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 4. Let's try to fill it up. Let's try to fill it up. All right, let's go 6, 6, 12. How about a 6, 1, 7? Son of a... Just kidding. Just kidding, sir. I didn't mean to cuss. Here we go. 6, 6. Not even close. 4, 1. Back to my story. Sorry. You know, probably a couple years ago. But when I would release them bad and they came out really sloppy, I had a guy next to me who goes, "Why are you flinching before you even know what they are?" And I was like, well, it was the minute I let him go, it was no good. And he kind of looked at me like I was absolutely crazy. And then I quickly realized, I was like, this guy has absolutely no idea what I'm doing or what I'm thinking or talking about. I was like, I'm not even going to try and explain it because it's just going to be like falling on deaf ears or, you know, flying over his head like that. Okay, that was a terrible throw and a great result, hard 8. So I don't know if you can see any of these. I'm sure everybody will be slowing all these down and then dissecting it and telling me how terrible they look. And I'll just tell you that we just don't give a damn. 1, 2, 3. How long is this video? Oops, dice tumbled over. 1, 2, 3, 12 minutes. We'll cap it here. See you on the next one.